Today on the channel, he's here already, NECA Ultimate Edition, Herman Munster.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, back again for another NECA Ultimate unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got one I'm extra excited about. We just unboxed Grandpa Munster, and here we are a couple days later, we're diving into Herman Munster, of course, from NECA. But for all your Munsters needs, including Herman Munster, make sure you hit up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to get a deal over there. Head over to Jay's right now. There's still a chance to get this online. They got a couple of cases of this one in today as I'm filming this. On top of that, they got the new Spawn McFarlane and a lot of other stuff. So head over to Jay's, tell them Kyle sent you, and use the discount code. It all adds up. Trust me, I know. But we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And I'm pretty excited about Herman Munster. We talked about Grandpa Munster, old Grandpa Al Lewis. Now, here we are with Fred Gwynne, of course, star of stage and screen, maybe obviously his most iconic role, but does anybody remember Car 54, Where Are You? And Grandpa Al was in that as well. We also remember him, of course, from Pet Sematary Once Upon a Time. Loved him in that movie. So shout out to Fred Gwynne, obviously has passed away now, but man, oh man, entertained generations of kids, maybe even still to this day, as I loved watching the Addams Family and the Munsters when I was a little kid. So this is very nostalgic and very fun to get in action figure form. Just like Grandpa, I'm excited to get this one here. So let's dive into it. Let's see what's going on with old Herman Munster, the leader of the group, and him and Grandpa always getting into trouble together and stuff. Just very, very fun. I said it before in that review with Grandpa. Hopefully we get the rest of the family. It'd be really cool to get Lily, Eddie, everybody else under the sun. Can we get Marilyn? Maybe, maybe. But I do love the artwork on here. I actually got Grandpa right here. Let's put them side by side, just like it's 1964 all over again. Munster come home, how about? But how fabulous is that packaging art on these? Absolutely do love that. Very, very cool. Works of art in the packaging. And I like to celebrate not just the action figures, but the packaging of these things, as you guys know as well. Munster's logo down low. Beautiful artwork, looking very nice. The Munsters on the side, a little sly smile there. And then we get the Munsters on the side over here. And look at, of course, Herman's face there. That's nightmare fuel. It always creeped me out when he'd get kind of going with his voice and stuff, getting all excited. It was always just strange to me as a little kid. Still strange all these years later. Then on the back, so many accessories of this one. It's going to be really fun to dive into this figure here. And then as we're used to with NECA, get to open it all up right there. I love that one figure. Excuse me. You know, you got all of that going on. And Herman had the heart of gold, as we do know, of course. Looking very good. We're going to pull him out. We're going to whip it out. We're going to whip out my Herman. I would say the most famous Herman outside of, yes, Todd McFarlane, the Fox show Herman's Head Once Upon a Time. I remember that when I was a little kid, too. Off to the side, gentle. See you later. Goodbye. And now we get Mr. Munster out of here. We got a lot of cool accessories and a lot of stuff we can use with other figures if you really want to. But there's Herman Munster. Going to take him offline, get him out of the pack, and we'll be back talking all thing the Munsters, NECA Ultimate Herman Munster. All right, let's dive into Herman Munster, and per the norm, let's start off with the accessories. How about we'll start with the hands. He's got the Frankenstein hands right out of the package. Must have for a guy named Frank, as we know. We get two fists of Herman Munster Fury. I don't think he's punching anybody in the face, but when he gets mad, watch out. It doesn't happen very often. Kind of like my dad. You know, my dad's kind of like Frankenstein. You know, Frankenstein's like 7 feet tall. My dad's 6'8". Shout out to my dad. He's a real one. I know my dad would be interested in this, but I don't think he's willing to add it to his collection. He's retired, he says. So we'll see what happens, maybe in the future. But we do get some specific hands right here. This is almost a, hey, what's going on hand here. We get a little bit of a gripping hand. Now, of course, this is going to be for the bar. We're going to talk about that here in a second. We do get that finger pointing hand we talked about, so we get that going on. What you going to do, brother? That's what he's going to say. And then a straight up gripping hand as well. So a lot of good hands here. Nice green skin tone with this. going along. Now, Herman, of course, just a working man once upon a time. And when I see a working man's lunch pail like this, it reminds me of my dear old grandpa, since passed away, of course. Fought in the Korean War, did all kinds of, like, crashed in an airplane like 3 times. Whenever I complained all my knees hurt, I'm always like, yeah, he broke every bone in his body. I shouldn't probably be complaining. But I remember as a little kid, he would take this with his thermos every single day to work. He was a welder by trade. And whenever I see things like this, it always reminds me of that. I always remember it. I could picture his work boots, and I could picture his thing, his lunch pail, right by the door at my grandma's. So I always picture that, and I always think of that. So it's always funny how that things jog your memory like that with collecting and so forth. Talked about the steel bar here. Very cool. It has a bendy wire, so you can move it around however you want to. It can be a straight up bar for a weapon if you want to, or you can be bending it, of course. And we know Frankenstein's superhuman strength, of course, in all Frankenstein's monsters, and Herman Munster as well. Now, we do get a very iconic, I forget the name of this toy, but a very iconic toy back in the day. I believe my dad actually has this in his collection as well, but it is a walking animatronic Frank, you know, the old school like remote control where the wire was connected to it. You get a little of that going on. Now, we do get articulation with this. So the head does move and the arms do move on this. Very cool. Obviously, it's like looking in a mirror for Herman Munster, as we can see there, but a nice attention to detail accessory. And then a fun one, we're going to specific episodes of the Munsters. We do get that napkin here, and it is arched, so you can put it right there as a little bib. Of course, he's a real one. He's really digging into his meal, wants to protect his shirt. He's got a little napkin you can put up there. And then we do get a knife and a fork here. So very cool to get these accessories. Use them with your Ninja Turtles. Use them with your wrestling figures. Choose your own adventure here, but nice to get some silverware. Ooh, pure silver too, of course. And then we do get some pancakes. Like the attention to detail here. Once again, great for customizers. Great for people that want to use this with something else. Very, very fun for fig photography with this. So you can reenact that. The only problem is you don't have a place for Herman to sit down and eat all this kind of stuff. But very cool. Makes me hungry. I feel like I need to go to IHOP, Todd McFarlane. How about you and me tomorrow morning? We get up early, right at the crack of dawn. We head over to IHOP. We get a couple of eggs, maybe some bacon, a couple of flapjacks, and we throw the flapjacks on the floor. So there it goes. But we got that going on. But now we're diving into Herman Munster here. 3 heads for Herman. You know I'm here for all the head I can get. You know that. Very Frankenstein style. Obviously, got that flat top. You got the stitches up at the top there. Got that little red crack in his head, looking very good. And he's got quite the smirk on there. He's got that going on. Looking good, even a little bit of side eye. So looking like Herman. This looks just like Fred Gwynn as well. Love the looks of this. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. Got those bolts in his neck like a pro Frankenstein. Big head on him here. Obviously, Frankenstein does have a very big head. But man, that looks really good. Looks really, really good. Second head here. This is the scared Herman. Oh, he's got that scared look in his face. Very, very nice. No issues with that. Looks very good. So he's got a little scared face. Then the last one, we get that creeping, laughing face. There's no way I'm displaying this one. Now, if this goes to clearance somewhere, if Walmart has a clearance event of a lifetime, maybe even a generation, I'll pick up another one of these. I definitely would to display different looks and accessories. I don't foresee myself getting 3 of these to be able to display this laughing head. It just, some reason, really creeps me out there. But you could have him and Grandpa both in there yucking it up face, and they could be just laughing to everybody if you wanted to. But now we're going to dive into Herman here, and he's got that big overcoat blazer there, a brown color on this one. He does got that stitching there around his wrist that looks interesting. We already talked about the skin tone being that nice green with the dark fingernails. Got the blazer over the top, and then he's got a bit of almost like a turtleneck, black shirt underneath there. Looks good. Brown pants to match the blazer. Just because you're a monster doesn't mean you can't be fashion forward, and he definitely is fashion forward. Got those big boots down there like a Frankenstein would or a Herman Munster would at this point. Arms all the way around, a little bit slower up here. You are locked in a little bit. Obviously, he's not Spider-Man. You do get a single jointed elbow, side to side, hands back and forth, side to side, hands removable, head removable, back and forth, side to side, up and down. Plenty of good movement there. Waist articulation. Big old Herman Munster splits if you need it. You know he's going up for the big boot, brother. He's got that going on. Single jointed knee, side to side at the knee. Boot cut, no boot cut. But you do get up and down on the ankles, a little side to side. Not really a lot to write home about with that there. And then he should fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand using code Kyle. Save 10%. He does fit on that as well. A very fun looking Frankenstein Herman Munster here, obviously based on the Frankenstein monster. But absolutely do love this. This speaks to me watching like Nick at Night or wherever it was as a kid. Obviously a little kid, and maybe a lot of kids to this day, you love horror movies, you love the classic Universal monsters. So it's great you're watching those every once in a while when they're on TV, and then you get to have something a little bit more lighthearted during the day watching this. Still giving you some of the monster, but not as scary and a lot of fun. And as I said, I think before, the Munsters felt like they had hundreds of episodes. They didn't have very many episodes. Of course, the movie we'll never forget, and we'll never forget the Return of the Munsters. And I think they had a comeback show in the 80s. Hard times for some of that, but remember the happy days with Fred Gwynn. Remember the happy days with the Munster family once upon a time, and NECA killed it with these figures here. And I guess saying figures, let's bring in old Grandpa here. Great to have these two together. So cool. If they were only going to give us 2 characters from the series, these are definitely the 2 I would want. I'm thinking most people are feeling that same way, but it'll be very interesting to see where this goes in the future. I would love to see something else, and I honestly wouldn't be shocked to see like a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive glow-in-the-dark versions or repaint. You know they're going to try to get the most out of their molds over there at NECA. What could they do with these? I guess we'll see what happens in the future, but man, a lot of fun unboxing both of these, and I'm just happy they shipped pretty close to each other. I thought we were going to have to wait a couple more months for Herman, so very cool to have these two. Going to be proudly displayed in my figure collection, no doubt about it. And then we did get the original Munsters. Better bring both of them out here. We got Grandpa and, of course, Herman. Cool for what it is. I said it before, watch the new movie one time. It's worth a watch once, that's it. I get it. It's not going to be as popular as this, but pretty cool to see the yin and yangs here. The old school style, which is the classic to this day, plus the new take on them. Definitely different looks between them, but all day long, I think 99.999% of the people, 100% of the people, Todd McFarlane spoken from the couch, going to take these 2 over the 2 new, but fun nonetheless to have in the collection. So there it is. Herman Munster NECA Ultimate. Be very interested to hear your thoughts on this one. Do you need this in your collection? Are you picking this up in your collection? Let me know in the comments down below. You made it this far, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day, and then some. We also got another YouTube channel, Kyle Peterson 2.0. Check it out. We're running a giveaway with that one there. Check out Toy News and Weekly Purchases for more on that, or my podcast. You're right, Todd McFarlane. Check out that if you need to. Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. Sir Paul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. Also the name of the podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available every Tuesday where podcasts are found, with videocast on YouTube. So for Herman Munster, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?